I know the mood is somber right now throughout the WNBA dump. Actually, somber isn't the right word because the mood throughout the dump is downright bitter. And look. I understand the bitterness. Uncle Casey is doing his best to relate to the pain of his bearded beauties, which is why on this very dark day in the WNBA, Uncle Casey decided to utilize his own resources. I paid the bill for the services of my inside sources to find something, anything, that could lift the spirits of WNBA players who were once again reminded of their outright irrelevance. For those that don't know, there was a heist recently in the WNBA. Some might even refer to it as grand theft. Well, Casey, are WNBA players complaining that every other show on television has stolen their ratings? No. Well, yes, but we'll get to that in just a second. Last fall, the New York Lesbians, which are now known as the New York Equality. Last fall, the Lesbians of Equality won the WNBA Finals, which, as you guys know, that gives them exclusive off-season access to bathrooms with running water, along with the luxury of the golden toilet. But recently, some dastardly thief confiscated the golden throne. WNBA investigators, they attempted to locate the thief and bring him to justice, but they were too focused on investigating claims of fake racism made by lonely wanker spankers who follow Angel Reese on social media. For weeks, the New York Equality have fought through despair to maintain their undefeated record while not having access to the golden throne that they earned. Until now. Uncle Casey called his inside sources, and within a matter of minutes, they were able to locate the perpetrator. Check it out for yourself. I'm sure you'll be glad to know that the golden toilet has been returned to the New York Equality, where every player is given equal access. Now, with a return of this magnitude, with a return of something this valuable, you would think pretend basketball players in the WNBA would be celebrating. I was expecting to hear a chorus of all the woke classics. Celebrate the butt bungo! We are the champions of pretend, and we're missing layups until the end. Instead, the mood throughout the WNBA dump remains somber because WNBA players are coming to the harsh realization that the rest of us have known all along. We were saying this last year. We were talking about this earlier this year when Unrivaled was a huge embarrassing failure. Pretend basketball players have come to the harsh realization that their precious turd of a league, it is irrelevant without Caitlin Clark. But the question is, how is this going to impact negotiations for their new collective bargaining agreement? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches, minor pains throughout your day, and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you? Or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take? I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain. That's why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC. It's not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed specifically for rapid pain relief. Like I said, my wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. Tried over-the-counter stuff, the chiropractor, but nothing ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. Bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender all the way to cherry almond. But all CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Headline at USA Today. WNBA TV ratings down more than 50% since Caitlin Clark injury. Now, just to be clear, this is not Uncle KC dumping on the dump, which I'll admit, I enjoy shitting on this league. I just can't figure out how to flush the damn thing. But this is not me highlighting the huge embarrassing failure in the WNBA. This is not me pointing out that this league is absolutely useless without the Roo from Waterloo. This is USA Today, the home of the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman, the home of Granny Nancy Armour, one of the hundreds of media outlets that provides only positive coverage of pretend basketball. According to USA Today, ratings for nationally televised games of pretend basketball down 55% since Caitlin Clark was injured. Ratings for games involving the Indiana Felines down 53%. Prior to her injury, the Felines were averaging 1.8 million viewers. Since Caitlin Clark has been injured, the unknown supporting cast in Indiana, they have that number down to a cool 847,000. They've lost 1 million viewers? 1 million? In the last 3 weeks? If Caitlin Clark doesn't return soon, these numbers could get significantly worse. Like I have said several times in the last few weeks, the WNBA has completely fallen out of the mainstream since Caitlin Clark was injured. Think about it. What's the biggest story in the WNBA this month? What's the biggest story in the WNBA this week? Angel Reese had a big game the other night. I think it was her best game of the season. No one cares. The New York Equality, they're undefeated. They are dominating the entire league. They're on their way to having back-to-back off-season access to the Golden Toilet. No one cares. The Minnesota Linkers are 9-1. According to the mainstream media, Nafisha Collier is a huge star. Her team is 9-1. No one cares. We are halfway through June. Angel Reese has been the only star not injured. Both Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark, they've been out. This was her opportunity to prove her drawing power, and the entire country has told Angel Reese, no one cares. It is blatantly obvious that the WNBA cannot survive without Caitlin Clark. This league is a devastating injury away from the polish melting off of this turd. The question is, how will this impact negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement? We already know what WNBA players are going to do. They are going to demand more money while also demanding less work. They're going to point to ratings and attendance and pretend they have leverage, just like they pretend to play basketball. But if you're the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert, actually, Kat doesn't really have the power to negotiate this deal, and she damn sure doesn't have the money. So if you're Adam Silver, and you're negotiating with money that belongs to NBA owners, what the hell do you do here? Most collective bargaining agreements are somewhere in the range of 3 to 5 years. Now, you already have NBA owners pressuring you to find a way to monetize this turd. This season, for the first time ever, the WNBA is projected to generate profit. It might only be a peso, but after 3 decades of generating millions of dollars in losses, any profit is better than no profit. If the WNBA is profitable this season, and that's a big if, it will be based on the current minimum wage salaries, the same minimum wage salaries that dump divers have been complaining about for years. How can the league remain profitable if players are given million-dollar salaries? Keyword, given, because that's what this would be, a donation. How can Adam Silver justify going back to NBA owners and handing WNBA players millions of dollars? There's only one player in the league that is worth the money. I know this sounds harsh, but the rest of these players, they really have no financial value. Well, Casey, that's simply not true. I know ratings are down right now, but the WNBA is thriving. This league is hot, hot, hot. That's only because Caitlin Clark has elevated the league. If you're Adam Silver and you're negotiating a multi-year agreement, you have got to think of all possibilities. For example, what if Caitlin Clark, God forbid, tears her Achilles? At minimum, she misses a full season, but in a lot of cases, an Achilles injury is career-altering for a basketball player. What if she tears her Achilles and she's never the same player? What if Caitlin Clark gets tired of the abuse and she decides that she's just going to walk away from this league of pretenders? Well, Casey, that would never happen! Oh, yeah? She damn sure didn't have a problem playing in Unrivaled, even though they offered her over $1 million for 2 months of work. Now, is it likely to happen? Is Caitlin Clark likely to step away from the WNBA? Absolutely not. But if you're Adam Silver, you have got to consider that as a possibility. You have to consider all possibilities. The point is, you have got to base salaries on what the WNBA would be without Caitlin Clark. Because the truth is, this is a very top-heavy league. As a business, the WNBA is in the worst position that you can be in. It's a position that I've been in myself. My first job out of college was a sales job. First year on the job, I land a massive account. The account was generating 6 figures in sales every month. For 2 years, everything was great. But then, company sold to new owners who wanted to do business with their own distributors. Overnight, my numbers collapsed, which is exactly what would happen to the WNBA without Caitlin Clark. Overnight, this league would be bankrupt. Overnight, this dump would return to irrelevance. These are things Adam Silver has to think about. Now, the media, they are going to apply pressure. They will claim that WNBA players deserve more money, when the truth is, they don't. And Kat Engelbert knows this. As I was finishing my prep for this video, I received an article from Front Office Sports. When the WNBA negotiated their new TV deal with that thing called ION or ION, guess who was left out of negotiations? The WNBA Players Union. They were left out of negotiations on a deal that directly impacts their salary. Why? Because Kat Engelbert knows only one player is driving these numbers. Why does she need the input from a union? Why does she need the input from 143 other players when all they're doing is benefiting from the success of one? Give me your thoughts on this. WNBA ratings crashed 55% without Caitlin Clark. Could this impact negotiations for the new CBA? Does this officially remove any leverage that WNBA players thought they had? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.